Hi, I'm Andrea. Thank you so much for joining me for this 30-minute yoga practice. Great to have you here. A few things that might be helpful before we start. I have a couple of blocks here, but if you've got thick books, those will do the trick. I do happen to be standing on a yoga mat. Don't worry if you don't have one. Find an area in your house that's not too slick. Maybe carpeted would feel best. Also, a chair for balance, I think, is a really good idea. And a folded blanket, sometimes getting on our hands and knees or lowering a knee. Some padding is nice to have. And then you could grab a cushion from your couch or even a sturdy pillow from your bed so that we have something maybe to sit upon, like a bolster. I just find those to be really helpful to our practice. I also happen to be barefoot. If you're more comfortable in shoes, then by all means, keep your shoes on, no problem. And then let's start together. Facing our long edge, again, maybe you're just pretending to have a long edge of your mat. With our feet hip distance, turn your palms away from each other, and we stand in our mountain with a soft bend to our knees. If you gaze at what I like to call our bright horizon straight out in front of you, your chin will be parallel to the ground, and it helps as we try to stack ears over shoulders, over hips, over heels. It's here where we stop and find our breath, where we turn the arrows of attention inward as opposed to distractedly outward. 3 moments here. We'll add to our mountain pose with a little sun salutation. Inhale, arms out to the side, thumbs to the sky, a V shape. Exhale, hinge at your hips and take your hands onto your thighs. Inhale, extend your heart, tractioning your hands on your thighs and growing tall. Exhale, increase the hinge at your hips, but keep your head above your hips. And then inhale, arms out and up, thumbs to the sky. Float your arms along your side, palms face out. Again, inhale, arms out and up, thumbs to the sky. Exhale, hinge at your hips and take your hands to your thighs. Inhale, your heart forward. Exhale, increase the hinge at your hips, and then inhale, arms out and up, thumbs to the sky, V shape. Float your arms, palms face out along your side. 2 more times. Inhale, arms out and up, thumbs to the sky. Exhale, hinge at your hips and hands onto your thighs. Inhale, your heart forward. Exhale, increase the hinge at your hips. Inhale, rise, reach, thumbs to the sky. And then float your arms along your side. Last one. Inhale, V shape. Exhale, fold. Inhale, heart forward. Exhale, hinge at your hips. Inhale, thumbs to the sky. Exhale, stand in your mountain. Let's set up our props mindfully so that they're ready for the next few things that we do. A couple of options. If you're using blocks or books, stack them tall at the back off and edge of your mat. We don't want to have these underfoot, so we do want to be thoughtful about our placement. So off of your workspace. You might find that you like to use the seat of your chair for some postures that we'll get into in a moment. If that's the case, just place your chair so that it's halfway down your mat and also off the workspace. And then step onto that facing the long edge status that we started in. Take your arms wide out to the side, thumbs to the sky. And then step wide so that your ankles are underneath your wrists here. From your right hip, turn your right foot to face the short edge of your mat, and then cheat your left heel at a 45-degree angle. We'll measure up first. So when you bend your front knee, you want a vertical line from your knee to your ankle. You might, like I do, need a little bit more space forward and back between your 2 feet. Now straighten your front leg and take a V shape with your thumbs to the sky like our sun salutation, and then rebend your knee and float your arms alongside you. Inhale, V shape, front leg straightens. Exhale, bend your front knee, arms out to the side. We go back and forth. This is our inhale. Our bent knee is our exhale. Of course, if you need to breathe differently, no worries. And if your tempo is a little different than mine, honor it, celebrate it. So dynamic warrior 2 is what we're up to right now. We'll take a few more rounds, oiling the machine, warming up. And the next time that you have your knee bent, keep your knee bent, your thumbs to the sky, your arms wide. Pause. It'll get a little intense. If you want or need to, you can always lower your arms and straighten your front leg. Right hip is hugging underneath you, so we're not sticking our butt out and letting things collapse. Outer edge of your back foot is solid and that arch is lifted. From the waist up, we feel like we're standing in our mountain pose. And we take a few moments stamping into the right heel, working strong into the muscles of our legs and really our arms too as we hold them out to the side. And then we'll take a few moments just as we are to breathe here. Such great work. Slowly straighten your front leg, lower your arms, palms face out. Turn all of your toes to face that long edge of your mat. And then from deep in your left hip, turn your left foot out to face the short edge of your mat. Cheat your right heel back at that 45-degree angle. Arms out to the side, thumbs to the sky. Bend your front knee. We should have our spacing from side 1. Straighten your front leg, V-shaped, thumbs to the sky. Bend your front knee, arms float down and out to the side. And then straighten your front leg, thumbs to the sky, V-shape, and we head back and forth. And just like I said on our first side, if your tempo is different than mine, no problem. And you might coordinate the exhale with the bent knee and the inhale with your thumbs to the sky, arms overhead and a straight leg. Let's do about 3 more rounds. Of course, that might be different if your tempo is different. Now the next time that your front knee is bent, keep it bent, thumbs to the sky. We hang out here for a little while. We want to make sure that the outer edge of our back foot is solid, the arch is alive. Your left hip is hugging underneath you, your left thigh bone is inclined to the left as opposed to collapsing to the right. If it's a long time with your arms up, just lower your arms and bring them back up again or keep them along your sides. Let's just see if we can let this steep percolate for a few moments as we get strong. Strong in our body and strong in the focus of our minds. 3 moments here. Now slowly straighten your front leg and let your arms lower, palms face out. Turn all toes to face the long edge of your mat. And then heel toe, stand into your mountain pose. Just a pause without our wide stance. Take your arms wide out to the side, thumbs to the sky. Head back to that wide stance. So heel toe back out again. It might not be quite as wide as our warrior 2. This is where our props are going to come in handy. Turn your right leg out, as we did with warrior 2. Cheat your back heel at your 45-degree angle, and then hinging at your hip, not side bending, but hinging at your hip and lifting that left hip. Reach out with your right hand long and either find your tall block on the outside of that right foot or use the seat of your chair with your right hand. Keep your head high. So again, we're not side bending and we don't want our head to be lower than our hips. Press into your right big toe mound so you feel it activate the muscles of your front leg, your right leg. And we're not locked into that leg, so if you keep that connection of pressing the right big toe mound, you will in fact feel your muscles turn on naturally. It's like an activation for those muscles. Spin your inner upper arms away from each other. Keep your left thumb to the sky. And let's stay with this hip opening hamstring stretching, inner thigh inspiring posture for a few moments. Now firm through your feet and through your belly. If you're using a block, I'm going to ask you to mindfully take care of it on our way out. So glance down, bend your right knee a little bit, move your block off to the side, then firm through your feet and your belly and come all the way upright. If you're using your chair, you probably don't have to do that. Turn all your toes to face the long edge of your mat. Arms out to the side, thumbs to the sky, and we turn our left leg out so that our left foot is facing the short edge of our mat. Cheat your right heel at a 45-degree angle. Remember, not side bend, but hip hinge. Reach really long out with your left hand, and then your left hand will find the seat of your chair, or your left hand will find your tall block on the outside of that left foot. Then we situate ourselves to be very conscientious of keeping our head above our hips, keeping our left big toe mound pressing, and our right thumb to the sky. Spinning the inner upper arms away from each other will create some architecture to avoid shoulders into ears. And then we'll stay with it for a few moments. Appreciating our hip stretch, our hamstring stretch, our inner thigh stretch, and our mindful awareness stretch. Three more moments of triangle meditation where we are. And then let's mindfully make sure our props are out of our way. Look down, put a little bend in your left knee. Now if you have a chair, this won't apply, but if you've got a block or a book, move it off your mat. Firm through your belly, come upright, thumbs to the sky. Turn all of your toes to face the long edge of your mat and float your arms along your side, palms face out, heel toe, until we're hip distance. Pause in your mountain for a moment of reflection. We will move our mountain to face the front edge of our mat, but we're also going to move our props. So take your chair and place it so that you have the seat of your chair facing you here at the front edge of your mat. Take your two blocks and move them off the sides of your mat, so not underfoot. I'm not sure that you'll use your blocks. Some of you might use your blocks for this next part. I tend to use the seat of my chair for both of the things that we'll do next. First, let's return to our mountain, feet hip distance and ears over shoulders, over hips, over heels. Then let's think about what our hip was doing both in our warrior two pose and in our triangle pose, and we'll recreate much of that in a figure four. So this is a little bit of a balancing posture also. Stand on your left leg, cross right ankle on top of left thigh, bend your left knee as if we were doing a chair, flex your right foot, so that means curl those toes back, and then reach either for the back of your chair or the base of your chair. So you can adjust your chair so that it feels like you're able to sustain this for a moment. We're not rounding in our back, and remember our hips, our head is always higher than our hips, and our hips are kind of feeling something right now. Are you breathing? That's important. We have 5 moments here. It's kind of a long time. If you have to come out of it or step up a little higher on your chair while we're here, that's great. There might be a couple of you who actually venture your hands down onto your tall blocks. My concern is that your head gets too low and below your hips. If that's the case, stay here with us with our chair. Last couple moments. You feel that stretch and that balance? It's pretty great. Try to hug the outer left hip in so we're not collapsed into that hip. I think that our most secure dismount is to keep our hands where they are on our chair or chair back, and then just carefully place your right foot hip distance from your left. Bring your hands to your thighs. Inhale your heart forward. Exhale, hinge at your hips. Inhale, arms out and up, thumbs to the sky, a V shape, and then pause in your mountain for a moment and feel how we're done on one side and not on the other. All things in balance, right? Now, it might be that you discovered that with your hands holding onto the back of your chair, even the setup feels a little bit more manageable. So you can take your hands to the base of your chair or the back of your chair. We'll cross now, left ankle on top of right thigh, bend your right knee without that right hip swinging out to the side. You can be doing this all with your hands already on your chair, or place your hands on the seat or back of your chair once you get there. And then let's have that little figure 4 meditation moment together on this side. There's a lot. There's strength and balance and stretch. Some good stuff going on here. We're opening our hips, and hopefully we're opening up our mind a little bit. Three more moments. You can do it. How's it going hugging that outer right hip in, right? So we don't get collapsed. It's kind of an ongoing thing to pay attention to for all of us, me too. I think that for our dismount, just like our first side, keeping your hands on your chair wherever they are, back of the chair, base of the chair, just step. Left foot hip distance from right. Take your hands to your thighs. Inhale your heart forward. Exhale, hinge at your hips. Inhale, arms out and up, thumbs to the sky, V shape. And then float your arms along your side. I'm going to move my chair so that you can see me. You don't need to move your chair, but I want to make sure that I'm visible for our next thing. Now, facing your chair, take your mountain, and let's remember our triangle, right? Our triangle pose that we did. That's going to serve as a little bit of a blueprint for what we're getting into right now. So what I like to do is take my hands to the seat of the chair. Again, this might be something where you decide that you want to take your hands to the back of your chair. You're the expert. I'm just your guide. So with your hands on either the back or seat of your chair, stand onto your right leg as if it were the front leg of your triangle. So stand onto your right leg and extend your left leg back behind you. And then keeping your hand on the seat of your chair, see if you can tuck that hip underneath you and right thumb to the sky. So you're standing on your right leg and you've got your left thumb to the sky and your right leg floating back behind you. And we're a little floating triangle. Sometimes left from right is the most difficult thing ever for me. Even more difficult than balancing in this pose. Last couple moments. Keep breathing. 3 more moments. Can we do it? I think so. Might help to just put your palm flat on your chair or like really hold on. Keep that outer right hip hugging in. Now, take your left hand onto the seat or back of your chair, turn all of your left toes to face the ground, and then step down and bring your hands onto your thighs. Inhale your heart forward and exhale, hinge at your hips. Inhale, rise and reach, thumbs to the sky, a V shape, and then stand into your mountain. I will switch my chair. You don't need to. Just want to make sure that you can see what I'm up to. Let's stand in our mountain, facing our chair. Hands will come to either the seat or onto the back of your chair. Now you'll stand on your left leg and extend your right leg back behind you. We're making a triangle that's floating. So start to turn your right toes, take your right arm, hug that left hip underneath you, and we make a triangle happen that's floating. Or you do your best to do that. Your top leg doesn't need to lift high. There's a very active tucking under of your left hip on your standing leg going on right now. And we just let it steep for a few moments. So if you ever need to come out of it before I bring you out of it, please know that you're welcome to do that. Last couple of moments here. Return your right hand onto the back or seat of your chair. Turn your right toes to face the ground and then step down. Take your hands to your thighs. Inhale, heart forward. Exhale, hinge at your hips, and then inhale, arms out and up. Thumbs to the sky, V shape. Float your arms along your side and pause for a moment in your mountain. To make our way to the ground, it might be nice to actually use the seat of your chair or those two blocks. Inhale, arms out to the side, thumbs to the sky. Exhale, hinge at your hips and hands to your thighs. Inhale your heart forward. Hands can come to the seat of your chair if it's helpful, but we make our way mindfully onto the ground and into a seated cross-legged position. So let me just move my chair out of the way entirely. A couple of suggestions. You could sit on a book or a block. You could sit on your folded blanket. You could sit on the cushion from your chair here, especially if when you sit down, you notice in our cross-legged seat, and let's cross our right shin in front first. So if you're seated and your knees are way up here, you might want to join me seated on a block or on your folded blanket or on a cushion. And then we have a little bit more of an evenness of our knees and our hips. It's a little bit less pressure on our knee, a little bit more effective at opening up our hips or letting this exist in our hips. Let's sit tall. You can place your palms up or down. We're opening up our hips the way that we have this whole practice. Everything that we've done has basically been this action in our hips, and now we're in a more passive versus active form of it. Let's make this a bit of a meditation. I know we've kind of talked about that in our standing poses, but we'll use our hip opener as a place to do seated meditation. And if you're comfortable, I'm going to ask you to close your eyes. If that's not comfortable, it's fine. Just let your gaze go towards the ground. Become very aware of your inhale and a pause at the top, and then your exhale and a pause at the bottom. And see if you can focus your mind with your breath. Our breath goes two directions. It goes in, and then it flows out. Our mind is capable of going about 1,000,000 different directions. So we can use our breath as a tool to organize our mind. Stay with your inhales and your exhales for a few moments here. And blink your eyes open. Lean back, waggle your legs a little bit, just release them between sides. Cross your left shin in front of your right shin. Get situated, palms up or down. Try to sit tall as if we were still in our mountain. Come back to your breath going 2 directions, although our minds are capable of going many. Either close your eyes, or if you found that uncomfortable, just let your gaze drift towards the ground. And as you inhale and exhale, maybe you silently use our mantra of let as you inhale and go as you exhale. And just let yourself let go. I offer you the option of staying in a seated meditation and taking that instead of our Shavasana meditation that we often end with. So you're welcome to stay just like this with your eyes closed or your eyes diverted towards the ground. If you'd like to take Shavasana lying down, just waggle your legs out, lie down on the ground and spill your body across the floor. If you're in your seated meditation, just stay where you are. All of us are ending with a surrendering meditation, either lying down or cross-legged seat. It is the rest and digest of our practice. If you're lying down in Shavasana, you can always stay there longer. You might reach your arms and legs away from each other and stretch as we come back. Gather your knees into your chest and roll to either side. And then come up and join us in the seated cross-legged position or any other comfortable seat that feels good to you. Palms up or down once again, and we just pause to enjoy our happy hips, our open hips and our open meditative mind, so that we can take our yoga off our mat and out into our lives. I'm Andrea. Thank you so much for practicing with me today.